Hello, Mary Zilba.
Hello, Josiah.
So, what are we going to talk about today? You are a good friend of mine. We love each other. People have maybe seen us hanging out online.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of us getting together tonight?
Well, for me, I felt like I had said on a post on Instagram that I would kind of follow up on the the Real Housewives of Vancouver being broadcast now on Peacock in the United States for the very first time, and I thought I would reminisce and go down memory lane, although it's a little difficult at times, and talk to the fans about the show and what happened and what could be happening in the future, and kind of give my opinion on episode by episode. But of course, I haven't been able to stomach watching episode by episode. I did watch episode one, and I'm going to try to watch episode two. So tonight,
And I'll remind you of some things as we
yeah,
go.
yeah, perfect. You might need to brush up on it.
I might need to brush off on, although I will say I like watched that show like it was the Bible. So
So you remember a lot of the
I
stuff.
remember a lot of stuff. Yeah. So
Well,
it
I
should be a
really,
really
I,
good
I really feel
conversation.
like it's a good opportunity because I have a podcast to be able to talk to people about the show and kind of give a little bit of a narrative as to what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and yeah, hopefully we can go episode by episode and at least do a few little short clips and maybe do a long podcast as well a couple of times so that we can recap what happened in the show. I mean, it's a scary time because I never thought it was going to air in the United States, and
Hmm.
here we are.
Here we are. Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Life in the spotlight can be tough when you don't know who to trust.
We are going to dive into a world that has so many conflicting emotions for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's all come back and bit you in the face this week. First off, I just want to do like a vibe check. Like, what is going through your mind in this moment in time?
Well, first of all, I did not know this was going to happen. It was never something I ever thought was going to happen, particularly after like 10 years. Um, and just one day we get the call last week, actually, like literally a couple days ago, and they were like, "Oh, just by the way, Peacock in the United States has picked up the Real Housewives of Vancouver seasons one and two." And I was like, "Come again? Could you say that again, please?" So yeah, it's shocked. I'm shocked because my family's from the US. They've never seen it. Like I've had this career that's taken place in another country, and all of a sudden now they're going to be able to be a part of it. Almost all of them have said they're going to watch, which is frightening because there's so many cringe moments. The only good thing my father said was that, that's kind of cool. You're having a debut of a show that you actually are 10 years younger.
That's
I'm like,
true. Although I will say I think you look better now, by the
why,
way.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, the hair, the everything, the fashion, when I look back at it, it's just wow. Crazy.
And have you yourself sat down and rewatched anything yet?
Um, I did turn it on. I am down in the States right now, and I did turn on Peacock, and I did look at season one, episode one. And quite frankly, I literally felt like I needed either to have a drink, like fast, or I needed to like get a barf bucket. I don't know. The butterflies, the anxiety, the reliving it again was absolutely crazy because I felt almost those emotions again. And then I looked at it and thought, why didn't you say this? And why didn't you say that? And maybe you should have said this. And,
Hmm.
yeah, I was feeling all of those things again and thought, God, they were mean.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
funny you say that now and realize it now because so many people watching could pick that up pretty quickly. Now, I want to back up a little bit because I don't think a lot of people know this about you. You are a dual citizen. So this is kind of interesting for you because you're in the States right now. You're an American citizen. You were
Right.
Miss Ohio back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, how does this tie into your American story?
Well, that's what's so funny about it is because the country I was born in and raised didn't get to see it. So it's opening up this whole new world, I guess, or opportunity for me, for my friends and family and people that I've known my whole life now to see what it was like. So it's kind of cool, I think. Like I do like that it's interesting that it's airing. I mean, it's hard in a way too though, because I know that there are so many scenes and so many things that happened that I'm kind of nervous for my family to see. In fact, my dad he's 87 and he just said, "Oh, I'd like to watch it." And I said, "Dad, I don't think you want to watch it. I think you're going to get so upset if you watch it." And he says, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't think you should watch it, Dad. I'll find one episode that I think you can probably stomach watching and
Yeah.
I'll let you know what it is." So
Yeah. Like,
I haven't found the episode yet.
well, maybe it's the little TB fundraiser you did with Chase, or maybe it's your music video premiere
It's
episode.
you, the one that I look up to. It's you, my daily inspiration. It's you, nobody but you. I don't care.
Oh, that might
Yep.
be a good one. I thought about Mexico, but then I was reminded, no, I don't think I think I'm kind of frolicking on the beach with the sheet on at one point.
There's some pornography in that episode. Maybe
Like,
not
no,
best.
that one's not a good one. But I can't remember a lot of it, right? So I wanted to kind of watch it and kind of go through it episode by episode so that I could talk to fans about it. And so far I got through episode 1 and I thought, uh, I just don't know if I can watch the other episodes. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. But
Well, I remember, and maybe we can get into this a little bit, but when I first met you, the show had just wrapped, and I was a huge fan of the show, a big Mary defender. You really touched my heart, and I think you touched a lot of people's hearts,
thank you.
which is a big positive. But I remember you telling me that, this is really not what it seems. There was a lot of darkness that came with this show. It
Mm,
changed a lot of things in my life for the good and the bad.
yeah.
There's been more than a decade has passed since.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if you regret making that decision and saying yes.
Uh Boy, that's a really good question. I There were so many wonderful things that came out of the show. Um, and so I'm happy that I did it for those reasons. But as far as going through it and filming and being on it with those particular women, not all of them, but some of them, was very hard. It was really hard. I mean, as people can see, it was gang up on Mary most of the time. So, but there were fun parts of it too. Like going to Mexico was so much fun. Doing my music video, recording the song, singing with my son was like incredible. Like the footage that is there as far as memories go. My
Yeah.
dog that's passed away is on there, little George. There's just, my kids at that age to have them on film like that or on TV or at those memories of them talking and those things I'm really grateful for. And the friendships that I made, like you, for instance, like I have so many friends that I made off of the show or out of the show. My friend Brooke, like I met a
Yeah.
lot of people along the way from the show, and I also was able to do a lot of charity work, and that meant a lot to me.
Yeah. And, I think a lot of people may be watching for the first time if they're in the States, or if people are rewatching clips and remembering it.
Yeah,
It's it's hard to wrap your head around, especially if you haven't really gotten into the Housewives world, that this is unscripted. It is real.
yeah,
Jody really freaked out at you
oh
dressed
yeah,
as the Mad Hatter.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, how do you explain that to people? How do you, I guess, justify that this is real life, this really happened to me?
It can be really it's interesting because the public perception of it, I think, or a lot of the people believe that it's scripted, or that it is semi-scripted, or that
Right.
there's something about that's just now I don't know about the newer shows, how they actually operate. I'm not sure about that, but ours is a little bit of the original kind of
Yeah.
format. Um, and I will just say this, nothing is scripted. Nothing is scripted. Not one word that I ever uttered had somebody told me to say.
Do you
Um,
think though that, sorry to interrupt, but do
Go
you
ahead.
think that some of the women purposely put on a character, or are those who they really are?
um, I think that maybe they possibly could exaggerate um, who they are, but I tend to know, like in our show in particular, like people are pretty much who they are on screen are pretty much who they are in real life. Like
Yeah.
really, I mean, I when I think about the filming and I think about a lot of the scenes that were pretty cringe or that were really difficult for me to get through or for even the viewers to watch now, um, you know, a lot of things were not seen on TV and you don't know how they're going to edit them. You have no idea like exactly
Yeah.
how you're going to be edited. Um, but by and large, what comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth. I mean, some of the things that are set up, there are things that are set up. For instance, you know, we have an event or after we're out for dinner, all of us together, they will say, okay, you're going to go and now meet with Jody and talk about what happened last night.
Right.
Or Ronnie and Jody would ride in the limousine together because they lived across the bridge in a certain particular place. So they would often be put in the same car.
Right.
Um, the proximity to where you live. Sometimes I was with Christina because of that. Different, you know, they had there's certain scheduling things that they would have us
Yeah.
do. Um, but typically it would be like a morning of they'd say, "Oh, what do you have going on this morning? What is your day like? What do is there anything that is interesting coming up in your week?" And so you would just tell them, like for me, I was going to record a record, which is one of the reasons I think they chose me to be on the show is because of my, music career prior. Um, but I, but my kids were in school. They had games they were attending, or Cole went off to work as an intern for President Clinton um,
Yeah.
in one scene. So they, captured that. Chase was taking guitar and learning guitar or, you know, doing his career. So, or starting his little career. So they would just ask you like, what's interesting that you're going to be doing for the week as we
Yeah.
follow you.
And how long was the entire filming like? Were they following you for 6 months before they edited things together? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was pretty much, I think, 4 months.
Okay.
4 months, 3 to 4 months that they would just follow you and and everything they would set up different scenarios that we would all be together and everybody kind of had to have an event.
Right.
So in the season one, mine was the TS event for tuberous sclerosis. So that was mine. I can't remember what the other girls did, but pretty much, they had to get us all together and then you go away and you talk about it.
Right. Right.
Right? And you talk about it with one person or another person, or sometimes they'd have all three get together, all of, it's just there's a
Yeah. Create
formula to this show,
there's a
right?
formula.
Yeah.
That's a good way to say that.
Yeah.
And you had not watched any Housewives before. So
Yeah.
what was going through your head? Are you thinking like, oh, this is going to be a fun lifestyle show? Or like,
That's
what
what
were
I
you
thought it was going to be
expecting?
like a fun, oh, women getting together, having, camaraderie, like having a good time. And it's hearsay. Why didn't you come to me and say, did you say that? I'm tired of all of this. This is not how I run my life.
Mary, you're acting delusional.
Oh my God.
Honestly.
You're
I'm
hurtful and
funny.
you want to take my head and dunk it down a toilet. I hear all of
I'm sorry
this.
you're feeling that way. I've
You
never
said you
I
want
don't
to take
speak
my
like
head
that.
and stick it down a toilet. You said that.
That's not the way I speak, Mary. I'm like, Mary, let's go to the cubicle so I can cram your head in the toilet.
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
I make fun of your Botox and your fillers and things.
My Botox and my filler.
To your face, they said, oh my God, you had too much filler in your face that night. I don't.
Jody, these are my real cheeks. These are my real cheeks. Have you seen my sister?
Then I started to go, what the hell have I gotten myself into? This is not okay. Like, yeah, I didn't know from the very beginning that everybody was going to start to get catty and start to get nasty and try to make themselves the star.
Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I do think that one of the criticisms that's come out about you being on the show is that you played the victim. That's what people like to say.
Mhm.
I think that's really interesting because from my memory of watching the show, I actually think you do stand up for yourself and you often will address something. For example, in the Whistler episode, when Jody's saying that you have no morals, you directly say, I do have morals, Jody, and I know who I am.
He's allowing everyone to walk on you.
I don't ever let anyone walk on me.
You have to have morals for yourself.
Jody, I have really high morals. I have seriously high morals.
But you allow these men into your life
But
that
that's not
don't
really my
respect
morals,
you.
though, right?
Yes, it is. It's about your values.
I mean, that's not playing the victim. So,
Yeah.
how do you interpret, like, what do you say to people that maybe have that criticism? Do you
Yeah,
see where they're coming from?
I've read
Yeah.
those criticisms. I've seen people comment about that I was weak, I was a victim. You know, here's the deal. I came from a big family of 7 children, Catholic family, very conservative in many ways. And I certainly had my days where I, fighting with my siblings and everything else, and we did do that. But the truth is that I I have always believed that when somebody bullies you or when someone talks down to you or is condescending, if you get mad back at them, that's easier than to stay strong and say nothing. The strength to me is when you're able to kind of zip it and not feed into it, because that's what bullies want. They want you to go head to head. Not that at times I didn't feel like, okay, you know what? I really feel like punching Jody right now. Of course I felt that way. Of
Yeah.
course I'm a human being. I had feelings of like, Jody, you know what? I freaking like, but I didn't want to give her that pleasure of doing all of that. And not only that, but I feel like um I tend to most of all want to be a role model for my children. I had 3 boys in school in a Catholic school. Um, and I had so many beautiful friends at that school that knew me for being kind of a nice person, a kind person, a generous person. And I just thought, I'm not, I'm never going to go on a reality show and embarrass my children. So they're going to have people say things to them about me because when I did it, I was like, okay, they might not be on the show with me, but it's our family that's on this show because it's a reality show. It's real.
Yeah.
So to me, I felt like just staying classy and just kind of doing what I felt was the right thing to do. I was just not going to get down in the mud with anybody.
And
I just
now
wasn't
when you
going to do
look,
it.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes across for most people. Now, when you look back, do you wish that you had a little more bit more kick, or what's going through your mind kind of seeing what you saw when you rewatched?
Yeah, I think the first episode I just watched yesterday again, and I thought, oh God, Mary, why didn't you say this to her? Because I think your natural reaction, anybody watching it, is like, Mary, say something, right? Like, tell her to F off. I don't know, like, go, Jody, you freaking, like, because now I do feel like I mean, I'm 10 years older, and I kind of, you know, I feel like now I still would stay classy. I'm still not going to throw a bottle of wine or a glass of wine or do anything like that. I'm still not going to flip tables and curse at them, but or at her. Um, but at the same time, I'm proud of myself. Even when I look at it and I thought, wow, you know what? you were able to, I was able to keep my composure. And that's really important to me, is to being able to keep your composure under fire. That's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
So, I don't know. I think I would probably be, I'm just me. Like I wasn't putting on an act. That's the other thing. Like I literally was just me. The one thing that I regret about the show, and you're a good friend of mine, so you know this, is that I really, really love humor, and I find the humor in most of everything.
You do.
And I wasn't able to show that side of me because I was always on the defense. Like I was always getting, throttled with, insults
An
and
apple.
an apple even. Yeah.
I know you haven't rewatched it all yet, but I'm
Yes.
curious if there is a scene or an event that to you is the craziest, like you couldn't believe this was happening, whether that's you getting served papers or, the apple scene. Like, what do you think is like the most unbelievable thing that you experienced while filming?
Oh, without a doubt, it was the Tea Party. Without a doubt. There, what people didn't see, people got to see how bad, how angry, how the vitriol that Jody spewed at me was real. That stuff is real. And to this day, people, I have no idea why she not disliked me, but hates me. She hates me.
Oh my god, this cake is amazing.
Jody, you have no idea what you're talking
You
about.
live in a rented apartment. You don't have a car. You're an embarrassment. We are women. These women support each other. You're disgusting. Loathe you.
I swear to God, Jody cooks the best freaking cakes in the world.
Good party, baby.
Still to this day don't know why, and she'll tell people, "Oh, I was a character." No, no, no. That was not being a character. Because if she was like playing a character, somebody should hand her an Academy Award. That was real. That shit was real. So, and in the scene, that particular scene that wasn't shown on television, she actually hoisted an apple at me, and I ducked. And I mean, she could have hit me very easily with it. And thank God I ducked, because she's like, "Arr," and she throws up, "Mary, I loathe you." I
Oh,
mean,
that
it
gives
was
me
a
chills.
wild scene. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. Like I came in so many times and just went, trying to take the high road, being nice, and I said, hi, Jody. How dare you say hello? Like I hate you. Like what?
It's almost as if you had held your ground for so long that she's like, I'm gonna get her this time. Look, what's the
Yeah.
worst? How did this show change your worldview, your perspective? Do you see the world differently after doing something like this?
That's such a good question. Well, I think I learned a lot about myself through the show, and I also learned that you put a camera in front of people, and I mean, the behavior of just the camera, everybody wants to be famous. So that, or a lot of people want to be famous. So putting that camera in front of people, I don't know, maybe the worst sides come out, like I don't know. For me, I had been in front of camera. I had my degree in TV broadcasting. I had my own company down in Fort Lauderdale for a while. We produced shows. I had been the host of many shows like that. I worked in LA for quite a while. I was on the Home Show. I did a whole bunch of different television things, and then I was in a movie, and then I was a recording artist, so I did music videos and was on TV a lot, or I was interviewed on different shows quite a bit, and so I
Mhm.
had media training. So I'd been in front of the camera, so I wasn't like, I kind of
It didn't
knew.
phase you.
Yeah, it didn't like I kind of was aware of the camera, where I'm not so sure that the other ladies maybe
Yeah.
thought about the camera as much. I don't know. I don't really know. I can tell you one of the things that really I didn't like was um the competition. There's a competition, and the competition for wealth was one thing. Who had more money?
Hmm.
Who had the better handbags? Who had? I never got in that. It wouldn't even matter to me if I had gazillions of dollars. I'm still not an ostentatious person. I'm just not that person. I like
Yeah.
nice things. I love fashion. I mean, I love, makeup, hair, all that stuff. It doesn't define me. And
Yeah.
I found that those are the things that are defining a lot of these women.
Do you feel like if you were thrown back into the ring today, do you think you have the ability to potentially change some of these women's hearts?
You mean
How
with the
would you,
same cast? If I went with the same
same
cast?
cast, how would you approach, like, what would be your objective, I suppose?
Um, could I ever be on the show with Jody again? Look, I'm not afraid of Jody. I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
Jody at all. Um, I actually am, I would be very willing to sit down and talk to Jody to find out what in the hell is her problem. Like, I want to know, like, what it is that makes her so um evil. For lack of a better word. I mean, literally, like, to go on a show with her again, for the pure entertainment of it for viewers, I would do it because it would, I mean, I'd have to go through a lot probably to be on it with her again.
So, okay, so now that the show is out in the US and you're anticipating some family members watching it,
Right?
are you forewarning them about any episodes or are you giving them any disclaimers? What are you telling them?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. Well, I don't remember like every episode and things that happen. In fact, my niece called me yesterday and was telling me, Aunt Mary, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. She says, like, you were wearing a sheet on the beach. And I go, oh, right. That's right. I forgot. But I do tell them, like, I guess I do make I kind of do the disclaimer of, guys, I just want you to know that there is going to be a lot of bullying on there. And I'm usually the recipient of it. And I said, but I just felt like I just was doing my best to keep my composure and I just wasn't going to be inauthentic and not be myself. And so I said, I know it's going to be hard to watch at times, but don't feel sorry for me, I guess, basically, like I
Right.
know that I've had couple call me and say, Aunt Mary, like my nieces, like, I just want to go punch her, or oh my God, like
Yeah.
next time if you do a season three, let me on. I'm like, but I never ever thought that the show was going to be as big as it was. I never thought that. And again, like I don't know. I knew this. I knew that there really wasn't anything that because wait, let me back up. I think a lot of people that are on these shows will claim it's production, it's editing, it's scripted, it's everything like that.
Hmm.
In my personal opinion, in my case, I didn't give them anything. I was just really being authentically me, and I knew I wasn't scared every week to watch it because I knew that I hadn't said anything that would have been they could take and twist or misconstrue because,
Yeah.
what comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth. You can't say you didn't say it. Like if you
Yeah.
said it, you said it. And you got to take ownership of that, right? So I think that is I was aware of all of those things. In the confessionals, we had different producers that would talk to us. Like,
Yeah, I've always wondered how that works because are you rewatching a scene and then they're getting you to react to it, or is the producer telling you something like, remember when Jody said this at
yeah,
lunch?
the producer tells you, like,
Okay.
so Jody wasn't, how did you feel when Jody did what she did? Um, or Ronnie said this or that. And I was like, not great. Like, no, I mean, I've had enough of it. I've just had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. And of course, I was really excited because I was able to do my music and and record a song. And that was exciting for me. And to be able to have that
Yeah.
platform to be able to do that. I also had the platform of raising money for tuberous sclerosis, which was, I mean, it's a gift to be able to be on a show like that and have some um, and get some opportunities out of it,
Have a platform.
or a
Yeah.
platform. Yeah. Um, but as far as the kids went, I was a single mom. Like, I was living alone with my kids, and I had been for many years, and three boys. And I just was like, I'm not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize their friendships, or, the kids would say things to them, or, my friendships at the school, that a lot of the mothers
Yeah.
that I knew at the school, I just felt like, and my family, like I would never do anything to embarrass my family as a whole. I was very
Yeah.
concerned about all of that, and I wasn't raised to be, a crazy wild animal.
Well, something I have to point out that I think is very cool also is that even coming out of this experience, because the show was only 2 seasons, I've witnessed this firsthand. You are immensely close to all three of your boys,
Mhm.
and they trust you and they call you every day, and you don't even live in the same place right now, but you're still
Yeah.
so tight with them. And you
Yeah.
must feel so proud to have held your ground. Like I can imagine that that's the most important thing in your life.
The most important. And now the boys are older, 30, 29, and 31, 29, and 20, almost 27. No, almost 28. Um, and they then were, I think, how old were they? 13, 13,
Yeah.
15, 17.
Did
Um,
they think it was cool that mom was on the show?
well, two of them did. Like, Chase loved it. He's a musician. He loved it. He was like loving the fact that he got to be on TV. My older son, Cole, he was okay with it. My youngest son, I had to actually pay him $20 to walk across in the kitchen when I was cooking.
Oh,
I
I
was like,
love it.
Mom, I'm not going on it. But the funny thing about it, and I would love to have this footage, when the production company came in the very beginning, they wanted to talk to my kids. And so they wanted me out of the room.
Mm.
And so I sat back around the corner in another room, and all the boys were in the living room, and they were talking to them about the show and about me, and asking them questions about their lives. Oh my God, dude. I literally was like feeling like I was listening to my eulogy. Like, I'm not
Oh,
kidding. It was crazy. I was bawling, and they're just like, we love our mom, and we don't want our mom to get hurt. All of them were like, we understand that this is a show that is about this and the women and all that, but we don't know. We just don't want my mom to ever get hurt on a show like,
oh.
well, though they didn't really know what it was about either, but they just were always saying they just didn't want me to feel like hurt, and that my mom's a really nice person, and my mom just doesn't want, she doesn't need any more bad things in her life.
I want to talk a little bit about a couple season two things that stick out to me. So
Hmm.
one of those things is this, and you addressed it in your podcast with Ronnie, but there was this rumor that you two had had an intimate relationship.
Ugh.
And I think that's such a funny scene because where did that come from? And like, what was going through your mind? Because there's all this stuff that's just out there, and you're like, what the hell?
Well, I
Like,
didn't know she said that until I saw the show, right? I didn't know. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. Robin had, I think, called me and
yes.
said to me,
Is it true?
Ronnie,
Is it true you guys had a hanky panky?
yeah, or something like that. I was like,
Yeah.
no, no. The answer is freaking no. And Ronnie admits that on the
Mhm.
podcast when I had her on. She's like,
Yeah.
I just said that. I just made that up. I'm like, why would you make that up? Like, God, I mean, do you think, yeah, more power to you if that's your cup of tea. But the truth is, like, that wasn't my cup of tea, and that stuff my kids would have heard, right? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's not true.
Okay, the other thing I want to talk to you about is the whole saga with Robin and you doing the national anthem. Because there were some criticisms that came up about that. Like,
Yeah,
is
tell me
this,
what some of them were, because I can't remember a ton of.
well, I think it. I think it was more so like, is Mary doing this out of the kindness of her heart, wanting to give Robin an opportunity, or is, oh, we're going to turn Robin's mic down when we sing the anthem? Because that's what Robin accused you of. And
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
yeah, and I wondered like how you navigate a situation like that because it's obviously it was a sensitive moment. You were sharing something with a friend, and
Yeah.
then it enters the rumor mill in this toxic group and it spews back out at you.
There were some crazy things that happened in season two. That I will tell you. Two things, but regarding this one, um,
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all the sun's command.
I was so excited for Robin, like literally so excited for her. She loves singing.
Yeah.
When I met her, um, she was just like, I love to sing, and she would go around singing. I would go over to her house. She has a karaoke machine. She'd be singing. And so I asked her, I said to Adam H, like, why don't we have Robin sing with us or sing? I would
Yeah.
love to have Robin. She'd never been in a recording studio. I thought, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Um, Again, my nature is to help and bring other people, like, on board
And it
certain
truly
projects and
is. I
stuff.
can attest to this. Mary is who she says she is. She's an incredible person.
Well, thank you.
And
But I've
yeah.
gotten burned a lot by doing that. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this has probably had the same thing. You bring people on to board of certain projects or certain things, and you're generous only to have it come back and hit you in the ass, right? Like
Hmm.
I've had that happen quite a few times where I people are not they don't they don't remember your generosity.
And we've talked about this before too, and I really like what you said. It's actually something that's stuck with me forever. I'm going to remember this because you told me once we were talking about a situation like that, and I said, "Do you regret giving this person what you gave them then?" And you said, "You know what? I'll never regret doing that. Even if they forget about it or took it for granted, I can have peace with myself and know that I gave in a loving way. And I hope that one day they'll be able to see that." That's what you told me.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. That's
Like,
how
what makes, why do you think you tick that way?
Well, I think I can tell you, I've said this before. Since I was a little girl, my parents were very giving people, very generous, always giving to charities, working with charity. My mother, up to the day she died, was working a couple like days before she was serving at for charity, like serving
Hmm.
food. And my dad always said his father told him this. He told me this. I've told my kids, the joy in life is in the giving, and that is one of my favorite quotes, and it's true. I derive so much joy from helping people. I love to see other people thrive and see other people do well. And that's just, yeah, just the nature of who I am. I love to see that. I love bringing people along on the ride too.
Like, did you ever come home from a day of filming crying and your kids saw that? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, it did. And
How
there
did
were
you deal with
times,
that?
well, I mean, they would be, Mom, stop the show, then get off. Just don't do it anymore. But I couldn't. I was under contract. I couldn't. So I had to go through with that. Um,
Yeah.
and there were times in season two where I did grow a bit as far as when we were having sometimes where we had to be with each other. I didn't do it. Like I called production. I said, I'm not going. I'm not
Yeah.
going. And they were like, well, okay, if you're not going to go, then we need to film you calling them saying you're not going, which is fair enough. I'm like, okay, because I'm not going to subject myself anymore
Yeah.
to what I'm going to get. Like, I'm only human. I can only take so much, right?
Yeah.
So, there were times where I did cry on the show. That elevator scene at the
Oh,
scarf
I hate that
thing,
scene. That's a horrible scene.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. Um, that took a lot
Yeah,
out of me. Yeah,
that's
like
it's heartbreaking to watch, and anyone who watches that scene should feel heartbroken. It's absolutely horrible.
yeah, it was a classic gang up, girl gang, bullying scene of come on everybody, let's just leave Mary. Come on, Christina. You
Yeah.
know.
And
Um,
wasn't there, sorry, this is kind of, it added some levity to the scene because weren't they telling you to get in the elevator and you're like, this is my space that I rented? Or was it
oh
the other
no,
way?
they were trying to get me. I was trying to go in the elevator to keep talking, and then I think Reiko said push me out or something.
Yeah, it was something like, we'll have to put in the
We'll
clip,
have to
but
look at the clip. But yeah, um, that was just that was yeah, I was traumatized by that. And there were other scenes I was traumatized by, obviously. Um,
well, what about you getting served papers? Because that has gone viral on TikTok. My understanding is you sign a contract that you can't sue one another on this show. So what
yeah,
happened there?
Jody probably never read the contract. She probably never read the contract. I mean, but when she shows up with those papers, I was like, "Pardon me?"
In 20 minutes, the lawyer wants to sue her.
Pardon me?
She's serving her with papers here at my event. I'm feeling like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Honey, whatever she said, she's apologized. She's not going to accept service. You're not accepting service, okay?
I haven't done
Don't touch
anything.
the paper.
You
We've
were
got
so
you, Mary. We've got you. Look,
read it and weep,
yeah,
Zilba.
yeah, and then Mia. Jeez.
Oh yeah. I
The pit
okay.
bull and her daughter. I mean, for real. Like it was just like, and I was like, some of me literally was like, I'm, sh- I was in shock. Like I'm like, is
Yeah,
this really a grown woman acting this way? Is this
it's shocking.
really true? Like on television, like this, people are gonna see you act this way, Jody. You know that, right? Like I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, just wow.
Yeah. And I mean, it's such a crazy show, dude. Like now I'm having a flashback to Jody going to the market and being like, "Ni hao la," speaking her like that was hilarious. And then
You know
it's
what?
like,
Some of those scenes with her are funny. I mean, she actually has got some funny bits. Like,
she
you
is
know,
funny.
yeah. I mean, there's some funny stuff in Christina, I hate your fucking slippers. That's such a great scene. You know.
And she was shouting profound things at me.
Oh my gosh, her
And Ronnie's like,
malapropisms are beyond,
profound.
right? Like she's the queen of malapropism.
Yes.
Isms.
Yes.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
worst. When we were at somebody's birthday party at the restaurant, and I left early.
I was going to ask you about that because you got a
Okay,
call on your phone
I got a call on my
and
phone,
then you ended up at the restaurant next door.
but I ended up at the restaurant next door. I was going home. I told them I'm
Yeah.
leaving. I'm going home. Um, I can't remember what was going on that the boys had called me a couple of times, and I was like,
Hmm.
I could not even stand being at the table anymore. So
Yeah.
I was like, I can't stand it. They're treating me like shit. I'm going to literally lose it. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. And so then I get this call, and yeah, you know what? The truth is that it was a call I didn't have to go home for, but I thought I'm just going to go home then because they're like, I don't know if they were fighting. Something was going on at the house. I can't remember what it was. I told production, I'm leaving. Like, I got to go. So they were getting me a car to take me home.
Yeah.
And so in the meantime, I leave. There's two restaurants. There's this one. I think we're in the private room. Then there's the restaurant. So
Right.
I'm leaving. I took my mic off. Everything is, copacetic. I'm leaving. I'm waiting for the car. It was going to take 10 or 15 minutes for the car to come. I see my friends sitting at another table at a table.
Yeah.
And so they were like, Mary, oh my God, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, we're shooting over here, but I got to go home and I'm just waiting for the car. Well, while you're waiting for the car, just sit with us. So I was like, oh, I can't, guys. Like, I really can't.
Yeah.
They bug me. I sit down with them. Ronnie goes to the bathroom, sees me sitting there, goes back to the table and said, Mary didn't leave. She's sitting at the table. She lied. She's like, I'm like, and so here comes production running down with the cameras. I don't have a microphone on anymore. And that's
But
how,
It was 0 to 100. Like, you're such a bullshitter and you're a liar and what's wrong with you, Mary? Like, what? What normal
Who
person
said
asked?
that? Who was the one who said that? Because I can't remember the scene.
I think it was Jody. She
Oh,
said, "You're
okay. So,
bullshit,
did she
Mary."
come running down to see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you are crying at the end and you're like, I can't do it anymore. And the car takes you away.
Yeah.
But it's
So there
like,
were a couple of times in season two where I literally ditched out. Like I literally
yeah.
started going into protective mode because it was so real. You know, that's the thing that nobody, it's 10 years later, 12 years later, whatever it is. You know, I know that a lot of the castmates, or quite a few of them, are concerned that the show is now airing in the US and they're worried about that 10 years have gone on and we're different people now. Life has thrown a lot of curveballs at everybody, particularly Ronnie. And I just, and people change and then they have to go back and look at this and they want to they want people to know that they regret or they're different people now. And I totally get that and I totally understand that. um but I feel that everybody just has to let it run and let it air. If we get a season three out of it, um then that's great and everybody can be who they are now. But back then that is who everybody was.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, maybe there was a bit of manipulation in editing in some ways, but like I said before, what comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth. You can't really change that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think I mean, most people go through life and they don't have 10 years ago heavily documented and cut
Yeah,
together.
yeah, right?
So the fact that you survived it is amazing.